because this film was sort of, in a way, born out of a difficult time in my life where I felt like I was in a battle with my own mind. You know, I was sort of battling a little bit of mental health, and when you're in that place, it's a very meaningless place to be. It's quite useless and it's quite scary. And I thought, how can I create something that is, you know, that has some meaning, could make some meaning of that time. And in Australia, it's very difficult. I don't know whether it's the same in India, but in Australia, it's very difficult for men to talk about what's happening inside of them. So I wanted to try to make something that could begin to find some words that I felt like I didn't have. And so I guess it's a psychological thriller in a sense, but it's a kind of psychological thriller within your own brain, because when you are in that fog of that cloud of a mental health battle, you're essentially in battle with your own mind. And I wanted to try to create something that could explore that and how scary and isolating and alone that place can be. So that was what I was trying to do, to try to open up a film that could explore what it feels like to be in that spot. Yeah.
And what drew you to say yes to this project? You're playing a lead and it's already creating a buzz, especially in Iffi. So what drew you to say yes to the project?
What drew me was the script, very much the script, reading the script, which I loved straight away. And the reason why I read the script is because Mark and I had worked together a number of times and got on very well, had lots of wonderful discussions about film, about films, about filmmaking, about acting, about character, and just enjoyed each other's company. So, yeah, so that's really, Mark drew me to the film, and then Mark's words drew me to the character. So, simple.
Mark, we have already seen you working in front of the camera. So how is it difficult, or how is it different to work behind the camera from acting in front of the camera?
There were certain parts that, like being on set, felt quite familiar, but the writing process and then the editing process were less familiar to me. So, and they were a bit scary to, you know, you're sharing your work and and when you're editing, you're suddenly trying to make a product out of something, and that's quite difficult and scary in a way. But actors are sort of quite fortunate in a way because, you know, if you're in Australia and you're a director, at best, maybe you're making a film once every 2, 3, 4 years, really. And as a director, you're only ever on your own set. So you only see how and experience how you run things. Whereas when you're an actor, you go on to 100 different sets with 100 different directors. So you get to pick up all these little things at work, and you can go, oh, that's how Baz Luhrmann directs. That's how Jane Campion directs.
And you
that's
read so many scripts.
And you read so many scripts. So, you know, you're kind of fortunate, but then it's the responsibility of kind of bringing together a cohesive vision is very big, and strangely, sharing the film, if you've written and directed it, you feel much more exposed. When you're an actor in a project, you can kind of go, well, I didn't write it, I didn't edit it, it's not my fault. Whereas when you're a director, it's your fault. So, so it's been a very interesting journey, and I've learned a lot in the process.
And Hugo, my personal question from you, that we have seen you as Agent Smith in all the 3 Matrix movies, but you were missing from Matrix Resurrections. So are we going to see you in the 5th part, if it's already under production? So any chances that we can get to see you in for the coming?
No chance at all. No chance at all. No, I don't know anything about that project, actually. I loved working on the first 3 Matrixes, and then with Lana and Lily, the Wachowskis, on V for Vendetta and Cloud Atlas. Absolutely loved all that. But no, didn't do the last Matrix for a number of different reasons. Kind of complicated gestation, but definitely was. Lana very much wanted me to be in it, and I read the script and was interested in being in it. But there was all sorts of reasons why I was engaged in something else, couldn't happen. And since then, no, I think this one's quite different. And I think Lana is possibly not directing. Is that right? I think is producing. So it's not even a Wachowski-directed Matrix. I think it's a different one. So, no, it's not something I've had conversations with at all.
Question to both of you. Have you seen any Indian film during the Iffi, or do you love to watch Hindi movies? Any particular actor or director that you are particularly fond of? Maybe a chance to watch any?
I haven't seen any films while I've been here other than our film last night. I've only been here a day or two. And I don't think I'll be seeing any other films while I'm here, unfortunately. But yes, I actually remember seeing when I was 16 some, I don't even know how you pronounce the name, Satyajit Ray? Yes? Ray.
Yes.
So I absolutely loved his films. The Apu trilogy absolutely profoundly moved me, and the Chess Players and a number of his films. So that he introduced me to Indian cinema.
Oh, nice.
And then more recently, I met, as I said in the press conference, Anand Gandhi, and I loved Ship of Theseus. I thought that was a very beautiful film. So I do see contemporary Indian films at the Sydney Film Festival. Every year I'm a patron of the Sydney Film Festival, so there's always an Indian film, at least one on there. I've seen a number of Indian films over the years, but yeah, I haven't seen any here this year yet.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see any films at Iffi this year, but I've had a beautiful experience hanging around at the bazaar and meeting a few sort of filmmakers, Indian filmmakers who are working in the space that I am in Australia, really, the independent space. But basically, I'm,
In the past, have you watched any Indian films, or have you watched any Indian film actor? Oh, this guy's doing so great.
Well, I think I'm just beginning to realize how much I don't know about Indian film, but, I'm sort of experiencing things a little bit just, you guys are kind of taking over the world at the minute, and all the films are doing so well, so I'm just sort of beginning to go like, oh, I think I need to start watching.
If you are going to get a chance to work in Indian cinema, is it a yes or is it a no?
Definite yes from me.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, that would be amazing.